So I'm appealing to the Minister of Culture, the representative for Port of Spain South, which is Mr. Keith Scotland, Pan Trinbago Executive, the Mayor of Port of Spain. Woodbrook Playboys being an institution with a lot of youths. I won't like those youths with nowhere to go in the evening. So I'm appealing to you all, if you all can assist us in finding a permanent home for Woodbrook Playboys. I will appreciate that very much. I received a phone call from Mr. Arundel, who told me Woodbrook Playboys is a band, one of the premier steel bands in the Woodbrook area. He said we wouldn't allow Woodbrook Playboys to be put onto the streets. I'm Leroy Grant. I'm the secretary leader of Woodbrook Playboys Steel Orchestra. Right. In 2021, I was given notice by the owners of this property on Fitzblackman Drive. At that point in time, whatever documents I had, which was copies of application for a lease, they said that was not usable. After that, I decided to get in touch with a lawyer who I'm acquainted with, who did some work for me. And in her, what she decided to do was to write to the Port of Spain City Corporation, seeking information as to the true owners of the property located on 8 Fitzblackman Drive. The lawyer, in her wisdom, she decided to get her clerk to do a search pertaining to the property. Lo and behold, the results were that the property was owned by the Professional Group Association, which is located next door. What happened, the guy who occupied this property where the Panyard is located has been occupying it since 1966-67. That is long before the National Stadium, Jean Pierre Complex, the foreshore. At that point in time, the last street in Woodbrook was Hamilton Holder Street. So in the 80s, he decided to apply for a lease. But as it were, he did not follow through the process to the end. And he continued occupying the property, doing his trade. In 1990, I can't remember exactly when, 1990 something, the Professional Group Association, which most likely was formed in the 90s, they applied for a lease for a property adjacent to where the guy was doing his tuning, plying his trade. So they saw the opportunity where they can apply for the whole lot of land, including where the guy failed to complete the application, and they was granted a lease for the complete property. So in 2021, as I said before, we were given notice, the electricity was gone. So time sneaking up on us when we realized what's going on with the property. I tried all through Woodbrook looking for a property, but Woodbrook is a residential area, and the cost of property, nobody really want no steel band too close to them. Nobody don't want no steel band so close to them. So I was in a predicament. Don't know where to turn, nowhere to go. I got despondent. I said the best thing to do is to sell the equipment. I promised to give some to, I had a steel band in Woodbrook. I said I'll give them some. I have a friend, the Kiwanis wanted to start, the Lions wanted to start a pan program in the Bitam. I said, well, I will donate some of the pans to them. So a friend of mine told me to, Leroy, go and speak with Aquil. I'm telling you, go and speak with Aquil. So lo and behold, I got in touch with Mr. Aquil, Mr. Arundel, I met with him at a panyard in Belmont. We had a little discussion. He told me give him some time and he will see what he could do. So I gave him some time. I received a call and he told me he wouldn't allow the steel band to go onto the streets. Remember that clearly. He told me he wouldn't allow the steel band to go on the streets. You know, we started in 1998. We started keeping meetings on a Saturday by Lifestyle on Bengal Street in St. James. A person who was very instrumental in Woodbrook Playboys, Mr. Brian Python, who was the Minister of Finance. He was instrumental in helping us, you know, make whatever contacts to get whatever materials and things we need for building our shed. In the early, what we did, we used to practice next door to Stalif Steel Orchestra in Woodbrook. We had a tent there, we used to practice there, you know. At that time, we used to practice morning, noon, and night. Mr. Kwaitong, through to his love for the music and the band and the guys around, because he grew up in Woodbrook, he was able to acquire a property on Tragwit Road, you know, and from there we build a tent there. And at that time the band was one of the leading single pan steel orchestras in the land. We had a repertoire of over 30 something songs. At present we have 2 CDs. We have 2 pan CDs. Yeah. At that time, well, in the organization, some things wasn't going, you know, the way it was supposed to be go, because we was incorporated as a business, and you know, some of the guys wanted to, you know, take over the band, to control the band, you know. Well, maybe due to greed or whatever it is. And Mr. Python was despondent and he sold the property. In that case now we had to move. But fortunately we had a manager at the time, which was Peter Schoon. He had operated his business on Ethel Street in St. James, Media 21. He was kind enough to have us there. Because in between there, while he was looking for property, he had a friend with a property, Mr. Tim Nafsiga on French Street. Right opposite Woodbrook Modern Years, right opposite Woodbrook Modern Years, we mother band. So we were there for a year, then we went by Media 21. Media 21 had a little issues and they had to move. And that is when our committee member, which was a relative of Mr. McLean, went to Mr. McLean and asked him to allow us to utilize a piece of the property. Mr. McLean was very reluctant, you know, knowing the kind of person he was reluctant to have us come. But he did eventually allow us to come, and you know, Mr. McLean grew up with myself and a lot of the members of the band. Because many people approached him to utilize the property and they was all turned down. And Mr. McLean allowed us to use the property, and to this day, we call it about 5 years, we occupy the property at no charge.